Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have made it to the end of 2020. If you have made it and you are listening to the Bodacious Rant with Burn and
And rye, yes.
yes, we made it, my good brother man.
Yeah, again, it's been a pretty even with Christmas, it still feels pretty droll. Just very, not droll, but it's just, that's a wrong word. I just like saying it because it sounds bad, but
Droll. Yeah, it's a fun word to say.
yeah, no, and it sounds the opposite, really. But no, it's been very depressing the last couple of weeks, the news and stuff, and I'm just drained from work. But again, this crap year is finally coming to an end. So, the darkest is still before the dawn, as they say. But 2021 at least is a year of hope. So we can definitely hope for better next year. Um, yeah, that's how I'm feeling, Burn. I don't know about you, man, but I'm just waiting to get through this year.
Just counting the days at this point.
Counting the minutes, really, being, New Year's Eve and stuff like that. I have to go to work, but it's tonight I'm gonna have a bottle ready when I get home, just drink myself to sleep.
Oh, just, oh God, poor Ryan. It's okay.
just uh just to have the Grinch schedule, just 4 o'clock, well on self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one.
Tell no one.
But if I move the loathing to 9, I could still have time to get into bed and slip slowly into madness.
And never have
uh
those words felt more real.
Seriously, like it's crazy to think. This year's been, I mean, again, the silver lining is for those of us, like especially you or me, we have our health, our families are healthy, friends and family are healthy. So that is the important thing. At least we're the lucky ones if you really want to look at it.
Oh
Be
yeah,
be
very much.
perfectly be perfectly blunt. We are lucky still in that aspect. Yeah, I still have a job, which is kind of nice, even though there are days where again I just want to drink every day. But yeah, I will say this too. This has been a very different year entertainment wise again, just because I haven't been able to go to a movie theater since March, which I kind of went. Actually, I think the last time I was in a theater was like the very end of February, maybe the very beginning of March. And
Mm.
then shortly after, yeah, my job was like, no, you got to close down, and then we'll see you guys when we reopen. It's like, oh shit, okay, this is
Yeah,
serious.
I'm trying to remember what the last movie I saw in a theater was. I mean, I did see Tenet in September, but it's hard to really count that one, and because it was during the whole pandemic and stuff. But luckily I was lucky enough to be able to watch it because the theater over here at home was open and it's like no one there. It was just like me and my brother in the entire theater, so it felt pretty safe to go watch that movie. And I'm glad I did, but I'm trying to remember what was the last one I saw before that. It might have been either like Birds of Prey or The Gentleman. I can't really remember.
For me, it was either Gentleman or Bird. I think it was Bad Boys for Life. I saw that for a second time, and that was the last time I went to the theaters. It was by myself
Mm.
because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see this by myself. Just because I saw it one time, and I was like, I'm gonna go back because there's nothing out right now. So that was my last one, and
Dang, who knew that would have been the highest grossing movie of the year?
it definitely wouldn't have if
Yeah, for
everything
any
kept their
normal year.
slate. But it is what it is. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just so mind-boggled right now. Like all my thoughts are trapped inside a bottle. Like I actually crammed a whole bunch of movies at the beginning of this year. I saw Frozen 2, Dunkirk, The Gentleman, Knives Out like 3 or 4 times, Bad Boys for Life, Birds of Prey a couple times, just because we got to see the Tenet, like the first few minutes of Tenet in IMAX, which is
Oh
pretty
yeah, that was
cool.
dope.
And Sonic, we got to see Sonic in theaters. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a nice little nap for you.
We went to go see a movie screening as well that day. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right.
And that's pretty much it,
That movie hasn't come out yet, has it? I mean, I haven't really paid attention, but I don't think it came out this year at all.
No, not that I know of. I'm sure that movie's been put on pause until everything's safe to open up. Let's see, what else did I do? Not a whole lot this year. I want to say I saw Bloodshot this year, or I saw it last year. No, I think I saw it last year as a screening, like the end of last year, and then I saw it this year when I rented it on iTunes, just to be like, let me see the finished product here, because the last time I saw it was like they were still like the gray screen where they're rendering everything and all that stuff, or even concept art just being put on the screen. So
Right, it was not finished.
not even close to finish, no.
But
But
did the finished version improve on it at all? I doubt it, right?
let's not talk about that one. Anyways, yeah, let's why don't we talk about some of our favorite stuff this year, let's talk about the movies that we have seen and did like. The shows, there was a lot of shows. I'm gonna definitely talk about that. And then we'll end this off with some of the things we're looking forward to this year, which actually next year this year is supposed to be really stacked. Next year is going to be crazy packed full of movies, not only on
Oh
streaming but
yeah.
also in theaters. So, luckily, if I get my vaccine ready, or as soon as possible, I'm going back to the theater, mother effer. Just like yo, I'm good. I'm seen. I'm sorry, sir. What? Vaccinated? Duh.
Do you just have your band-aid on? Even though it's been like weeks.
Sir, that band-aid needs to be changed. You're holding it together with duct tape. It's like, yeah, because I want to make sure it stays there. Okay, it's a symbol.
It's gonna stay there until I have enough money to make it a tattoo. How did Bryan Cranston say it in that one movie? A two? You got a two?
What
Why
movie is
him?
this?
Why him? That's what it
Why
was.
him? Oh my god, that movie's so stupid, but it had its moments.
Yeah, it was dumb, but it was funny. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh man, but since we're running a lot of movies this year, I'm just gonna shout out my favorites that
Do
I
you have
saw
a
in.
favorite? Like I'm curious
Ooh,
because
I'm gonna. Well, no, what were you saying, Burn? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say because you were saying like you had a bunch, but I don't know if you had made a tier list per se, like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 list.
I'm gonna say the best movies of the year for me that I've seen. I know there have been some movies. Tenet and Palm Springs are two of probably some of the best movies of the year. I have still not finished one or seen the other just because of procrastination, and also I just haven't finished it. I have no excuse for that.
Did you
So
buy it or did you just rent it?
I kind of rented it, so you
Oh,
know.
you better get on that.
Oh shit, man, you better get on that. But my favorite movies of the year are going to be Extraction on Netflix that came out in like April this year, so super early in the year, or May with Chris Hemsworth, The Gentleman with Charlie Hunnam, Matthew McConaughey, and Colin Farrell, Love and Monsters with my high school alumnus Dylan O'Brien, which was actually a really great film. I low key really liked it. Bad Boys for Life, which I saw at the beginning of the year, and Birds of Prey, also beginning of the year. Those are my favorite movies, like newer movies that came out this year. But I think the favorite of them all is still The Gentleman, just because
Mm.
it's just such a fun movie to watch. Definitely Guy Ritchie kind of went back to his roots, and he just made a fun gangster movie. And Matthew McConaughey is like, the pot king of England. He was like a cold-blooded killer, but at the same time he was such a calm and collected person. It was like there was one scene in there that I really liked. If you haven't seen it, sorry, spoiler alert. But he's talking to this head of the triads in England, and he's like, well, your vice is you have tea. Tea is also a vice. And he's like, what does that have to do with anything? He's like, well, my vice, which is weed, it doesn't hurt anyone. It's just all fun and positive vibes. Where your vices, which are like prostitution, drugs, gambling, and especially heroin, he criticized him for that. As like that's been the destroyer of worlds. So I'm kind of like on the better side of things. And I thought, holy shit, he's got a good point. So it's hard. I was paraphrasing really well, really harshly, but that was definitely my favorite movie of the year. I think that one I've watched like several times, and I never get tired of it. It's just such a good movie to watch. Charlie Hunnam's actually British, and Colin Farrell's actually like Irish in this one, so
Yeah,
their
they
accents I
use their
think
real
are
accents.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice seeing that. Um, but yeah, that was for me. What about you, Bern? What movies or movie what really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, just to also tack on to the gentleman. That was probably one of the most fun movies I did watch all year. And again, Guy Ritchie, his return to form. Thank God.
Hmm.
Because I did enjoy the Arthur movie that he did, but I recognize it's not a good movie by like any stretch of the imagination. And I didn't really watch his Aladdin movie. Like I had it on in the background, but again with the rest of Disney's live action stuff, it was just kind of like, all right, I've already seen this, so it's kind of like whatever.
Wait a minute. Guy Ritchie directed Disney's Aladdin?
Yeah.
Holy crap, why did I not know this? Whoa. I don't know. It still didn't look that good to me. I'm sorry, Guy Ritchie. I love The Gentleman. That's easily my favorite movie with you, but Aladdin just did not seem no offense to, Will Smith or the other actors in it. It just did not seem enjoyable to me. I was like, this is one of those live action remakes. I'm like, you're trying too hard, but at the same time you're not. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I
Again,
just
just like all the other live actions.
yeah. But the only one I have enjoyed so far besides like The Jungle Book was Cinderella.
Cinderella was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. But
No,
keep
no, no
going,
lie.
Vern. So Aladdin, what else have you seen that you like this year?
No, no, Aladdin is not one of them. Don't you put that on my
You
list.
already said it, so just keep going.
It's already on. It's written in stone. There's no changing it. um, but yeah. I mean, my like I guess top five I would say is the number five I would put Palm Springs again. If you had heard my review in one of the episodes that we did, really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was the genre of that Groundhog's Day type movie where the day repeats on itself, and the comedy, or like the story gets told from that point. It's a little overdone at this point. We've seen it, but I think this movie did a really good job of making it fresh again and being really creative about it, and that also goes into the fact that Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti, or however you say her last name, they did really good job in their performances, and J.K. Simmons as well, who's really funny, and I think he should do a lot more comedies because because the dude is hilarious. But I thought that movie did the whole Groundhog Days type story really, really well. At number four, I got The Five Bloods, Spike Lee's Vietnam movie. I think that one was one of his better movies that's come out in recent years. Just like Black Klansman, I really liked Black Klansman as well. But I think maybe I would have to say that if I don't really know if they're going to do an Academy Awards this year or how they're going to judge that, but I do think Delroy Lindo gives one of the best performances of the year in this movie, and I definitely think he should win like Best Supporting Actor for his role as a Vietnam War vet who is kind of become bigoted and stuff. I mean he's got a Make America Great Again hat, in this thing, so it's a little bit of a commentary on that, and kind of it doesn't like condemn him in any way, but it gets us to empathize with why he is the way he is. And I thought that was a really, really good way of like coming into that, especially from someone like Spike Lee, to have that sort of artistic touch on that. So again, I thought that movie did a really good job. One of Chadwick Boseman's last performances. God rest him. Poor guy. Oh
God
man,
rest him. Yeah.
it's gonna suck. Going forward, especially in the MCU, not without him around. So, it's nice to see, his performance in that movie, and it's really well done. So, The Five Bloods is my number four. My number three is the movie that's on Amazon Prime right now. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's The Sound of Metal.
I have heard
And
of it. I have what's that one?
so it's with Riz Ahmed, and he plays a heavy metal drummer who starts to go deaf.
Oh,
And
that sucks.
that movie was like an emotional gut punch. It was so well done. I really like the audio design of that movie, where it really puts you sort of into his perspective, where things can be happening in the movie, and like the outside perspective. We hear all the sound, but once we get in closer, we hear nothing, and it really like puts you in his mindset and does a really good job of having you experience what he's experienced at the same time. So I thought they did a really effective job with that. And also I think Riz Ahmed deserves Best Actor this year for his performance. He did a really good job in this movie in particular, and I've liked him since I saw him in probably his first. I think it was his first movie, but Nightcrawler was the first movie I saw him in with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's been really good in everything that I've seen him in since then, and I definitely think he deserves an award for this movie.
For sure. I mean, I've seen it, like I've heard of it. I just didn't know. I'm like, what does this mean to me, kind of thing. But that does sound like a very emotional ride, just especially when you're a heavy metal drummer and you're going deaf. Like, shit, that's the
Hmm.
worst thing that could happen to you. But especially when you love metal. But
Yeah, it's like where
yeah,
music was his thing, and now he can't hear, and it's just like we have to see his journey, of having to sort of let go of the thing he loves most. So, man, that was really hard to watch, but such a fantastic movie.
my favorite role with him still is Rogue One, where he was the defector of the Empire for the rebels. I really
Mhm.
like that one still. I haven't seen some of his much more serious work. Nightcrawler, I don't even remember, to be honest. I just
Oh
Jake,
man,
Jake
we watched
Gyllenhaal
that
was
one
creep.
together, right? I think.
We did. Jake Gyllenhaal was super great and creepy in it. I just was
Mhm.
like, who was the guy that was with him? But now you remind me of Riz Ahmed, and yeah, he's awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So what are your two spots? We got into three. What are your last two?
So my top two, number two is the movie Mank on Netflix. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of it. Probably a lot of people maybe not have heard of it, but it's David Fincher's new movie. If you don't know who David Fincher is, he was the director of movies, great movies such as Fight Club, Zodiac, The Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Benjamin Button. He's done a lot of great movies over the years, and this is such a creative endeavor for him. You can tell that it was just like a work of passion for this movie in particular about the writing of the movie. What a lot of people consider one of the greatest movies of all time, of the Citizen Kane, and what really went into that creative process through the lens of one of the screenwriters, Mankiewicz, portrayed by Gary Oldman in the movie. And I mean, I will say that this movie is probably not for a lot of people because it's very inside baseball with a lot of things. Yes, but with the filmmaking aspect, you got to know basically the ins and outs of what's goes into making a movie, and also you kind of have to be a little bit familiar with the political side of things during that time. So, needless to say, I was a little lost at some points, but through like research and stuff, I gained a lot more appreciation for the movie, and I just think the performances are some of the best and probably like just the best ensemble I've seen this year with Gary Oldman doing such a great job and Amanda Seyfried, who I never thought of as like a great actress. She gives a really good performance in this movie, and Lily Collins too. Again, another actress who I don't really think of for her acting prowess, does a really good job here. So across the board, I think it was just really well done from the direction to the editing to the sound design and cinematography, which both make it seem like the movie was actually made in the 1950s. I just think it was just an awesome creative endeavor, and I think David Fincher did a really good job with this movie.
For sure. Okay. So that sounds very interesting, especially when you say Amanda Seyfried. Maybe not so much Amanda Seyfried because I do like her as an actress. She has been in some good stuff, but more so Lily Collins just because she's still a bit of an unknown. She had some. She was in Blindside. That was like the first thing I really saw her in. Then she
Hmm.
had a couple films, not great ones, specifically Priest, and then that one with Taylor Lautner, where he's some high school superhero who is on the run from CIA or some crap. It was bad. I don't remember, but it was just like, okay, cool. Like just awful films, awful all around. But and then she's in this one Netflix show my mom was watching. I forgot. I think it's in something in Paris.
Oh,
I don't know.
Emily in Paris. My mom was watching that show too.
And it's like, okay, cool. Lily Collins,
Apparently, it
like
was
you're,
good.
and it's good to see Lily Collins like doing more stuff, like especially like leading her own series, which is really good. Like, cool. Let's see what else you can do. Keep putting yourself out there. Um, But yeah, I'll have to check that one out. So Mank and Sound of Metal, even though they sound super intense, they sound really good.
Yeah, definitely really good movies to watch. And my number one, if you didn't already guess it, is Soul. I mean, I talked about it at length in our review and don't really have any much more to say about it than I just think it's the best movie of the year. And it's an animated movie. I doubt it's gonna win, like a best picture. I know there's always like this debate around this time of year or like, that time of Oscar season where a lot of people think, some animated films deserve to be in the nomination for best picture. And I do agree sometimes it is kind of convenient. It seems like a easy out for the Academy with the best animated and best foreign film, categories. I think this is a way for them to like award stuff and not really like give them their credit in the best picture category. I mean, the most recent example being Roma, which I thought was the best movie that came out that the year it did. And, it didn't win best picture. It lost to Green Book, which I think was a completely inferior movie to it. But, it did win best foreign film. And I was like, okay, I guess that's a nice consolation prize or whatever. But I'm glad that it seems that they're, or hopefully it's trending in the direction where they will consider it more with, Parasite winning Best Picture last year, and that being a foreign film. So, and I guess I really hope the same for some animated movies because Pixar comes out with some of the best movies of the year, and I think having the Spider Verse, I would have nominated that for Best Picture of the year that came out because that one was fantastic, and I think the same way for Soul. I think that movie really deserves awards consideration.
Absolutely. The Academy, before we finish off, we're going to rant a little bit about this. The Academy definitely needs to be revamped a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, just because that's also been another debated thing within the entertainment industry is that basically it's still run by a bunch of old white dudes who are still kind of out of touch with everything. So that's why certain movies and films are still getting made the way they are or getting chosen the way they are. Like I know that
Hmm.
one movie about that transgender actor a couple years ago. What the hell was it called? Like that one got an award and there was a lot of backlash like from not necessarily from the film community but people were like why is this winning an award, it's about a transgender person, like that's so weird. And it's like why don't you move forward, like there's always gonna they got to start including more movies and everything to it's just more about inclusion and just kind of stepping out of the boundaries they have now. Like animated films is another example that you're pointing out that needs to get more recognition because Spider-Verse, strictly due to its animation and its cast, should have definitely been nominated for a Picture of the Year. Same with Soul. Like I would definitely say that's definitely a contender up there because it movies like that I mean Spider-Verse because a superhero movie still won't, I doubt will ever get Best Picture nomination or anything like that for a
Hmm.
while, even though they basically make the industry money. I'm like, I'm sorry, like even if it's something like Black Widow, they'll still make more bank than Tenet ever would. That's a given
Hmm.
because it just because superhero movies are the thing. So whatever directors say, everyone's gonna have their own opinion. So that's regardless of the point. But it, I definitely think Soul would be up there because it tackles such a complicated issue and such a debated thing, but it makes it so fun and enjoyable for adults and children alike. Something people can understand.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, that's just when we're talking about. I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, the Academy. I just think about like they need to change that stuff up, especially because also there's actors who get no recognition, like Andy Serkis. Like he's one of the
Oh
best. Like
yeah.
Andy Serkis, Doug Jones. So there's two of my favorite actors that are in so many things over the years. You don't know about them until you look at them after the fact, or maybe if you pay attention to it. But it's like they get no recognition for what they've brought into it, like Shape of Water, Planet of the Apes, and even Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Like they they perform these great characters and creatures, but it's like why don't they get any recognition for it? Why isn't there like oh best uh, I mean, I don't know what the term would be. I guess like um,
Best motion capture performance or best performance. I bet the best non-traditional performance. I don't know.
something like that. Yeah, that would actually make more sense. Just so I don't know. A lot of things need to be changed after this year.
Yeah.
And if they do
It,
have I think they are still going to have an Academy Award. I don't know how. I don't know why they should. I think that should just be put off till
well,
next
they're
year.
actors. They're all getting their vaccines before everybody else, unfortunately.
they that's such a double-edged sword because they do provide they are in close
Entertainment,
proximity
yeah,
with
that
people.
is true.
Yeah, they are entertainment, but at the same time, it's
They're not
like
essential, but I don't know. I guess you can consider them essential, but you know,
I mean, if the NBA is considered essential, I'm like, I guess movies will be
true.
considered
Yeah,
too. Like none of the again, it's not that I don't want because they're still human beings at the end. So it's not like I don't want
yeah,
them to get vaccinated, but it's it's such a complex, it's such a dark rabbit hole we're gonna go down if we keep this going. So,
yeah. But
but
to
that
add on to your Oscar thing, I also think they definitely need to add a stunt category.
thank you, yeah, stunt actors and like choreography. I mean, okay, like John Wick. I actually know John Wick is definitely another example that should win an Academy Award because I'm sorry, the choreography and the filming behind that choreography to make it look as good as it can. Because
Hmm.
not all action movies get action filmed beautifully like that does. We have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and we have, you know, I'm just gonna say Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's easily one of the best examples of like an action film being executed and filmed beautifully. But like John Wick, the Captain America Civil War movie, superhero
Fury
movies and stuff
Road.
like that, The Raid, even movies like that, they all deserve their own spotlight because it's like you realize how hard it is to make it look good. Because
Yeah.
so
Again, like I keep saying it, but as Christopher Nolan says, filming action is the hardest thing to do in filmmaking.
I agree with Chris Nolan on that one for sure. I've had my disagreements with him, but I still love him as a director. He still is one of the best in the business, even though, again, separate the art from the artist. That's why I try and look at things.
Exactly. Exactly.
But with the films, let me just, do you mind if I dive in with my favorite shows this year?
The TV shows, yeah, give it to me, man. I mean, not
Okay.
that way. I mean, just give me the list, not anything else.
Well,
Not from
then
you.
if you say it that way, ask and you shall receive. But
You love me sexy.
I remember I saying that to my prom date. That was so bad, but it's still funny.
Oh, that's a story I need more details on off air.
Oh, it ended in heartbreak. It's okay. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, um, so again, this has been so while we haven't talked too much on movies, like I know you had your top five, beautiful top five, by the way. I'm glad you had some unknowns in there besides the one I had. Mine were definitely a little more on the mainstream side. So it's always good to have indie choices and expand your mind on that.
For
But
sure.
for but for me, shows wise, there's been so much better streaming series in general this year. That's just because I've been stuck in the house for 6 months out of the year. So what else am I gonna do?
9 months. Woo.
Exactly. So
Since March, baby.
my favorite shows that stood out to me this year, whether it came out last year, but maybe a lot of the season twos this year, or continuation of seasons, like Netflix's Castlevania that came out at the beginning of March. Wow, what a show! And thank you for the suggestion,
Really
Burn.
good.
Definitely one of the best American animated, American Japanese. I'm gonna say American Japanese just because it's got some Japanese influence to it, but
Yeah,
it's
it's very
made in
anime
the U.S.
inspired.
Yeah, very anime inspired. Easily one of the best video game adaptations out there. Super fun. Don't know anything about the games, but this show is amazing, and I would
Yeah,
totally
me
play the
neither.
game after that. What We Do in the Shadows, a comedy I finally got
Oh,
around to watching this year from FX, which is on Hulu. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. Just such a great
funniest
on.
show of the year.
Oh, absolutely. No questions
Not even
asked. It was the
close. Yeah.
funnest. Yeah, it was too good not to watch. The showrunners who make the show and control it are Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, who starred in the original film a few years ago. So you should definitely watch the show and the movie. You don't have to watch both, but you definitely should. In all
Yes.
honesty,
If you want a good time, you definitely need to watch both. If you haven't
absolutely.
already.
Community, which came out years ago, and I
Hmm.
finally discovered that on Netflix this year. One of my favorite comedies of all time, just because how much the Russo brothers bring like films into it a little more so than
Yeah.
other shows do. Strictly because of Troy and Abed, which are Danny Glover and what's the other guy's name? I forgot.
Oh, I don't know that actor's name.
He's a good actor though. I
He's
kind
good.
of
Yeah.
and then rewatching some of the Russo brothers movies like Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, and Winter Soldier, you basically see most of the cast of
Hmm.
Community
Yeah. A
in
lot of the community
those.
cast show up.
The only one I didn't see were Jillian Jacobs and Joel McHale, which I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
but
Allison Brie either, right? I don't think
she
she's been
hasn't been
in
in
it.
a Marvel movie. She should though. I
Oh
would love
yeah,
to see Alison Brie as a superhero. If it wasn't gonna be Brie Larson, I think she would have been a great Captain Marvel, like a brunette Captain Marvel.
I know she was on the short list for She-Hulk, and that would have been really good. But I'm also glad they brought in Tatiana Maslany because she's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, hopefully Alison Brie will be definitely chosen for like a future project or something. I definitely could. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing her as like not Spider Gwen. I can't. I'll have to figure
Spider
that.
Woman.
I wouldn't mind Spider Woman or just before we move on, I have to figure this out. Else, what the hell female hero could she be? It'll have to hit me later. Or actually, she wouldn't be bad if they did Inhumans again as a film. If they
As
wanted to revamp Inhumans, she would not be bad as one of
Medusa.
those.
What's her name?
I would not mind her as Medusa. Yeah. She would be a good young Medusa, and then they could bring in anyone else for Black Bolt. But that was another dumpster fire from last year, 2018. I forgot which year. But
Best
and then
forgotten.
best forgotten, yes, absolutely. And then Amazon's Upload, starring Robbie Amell, is easily one of the best, most under the radar shows. I know I had a lot of ads on like Hulu and other stuff, but
Yeah,
I felt like it was so not talked about around either social circles or just online at all. And it's easily one of the smartest shows and one of the funniest shows. It's no What We Do in the Shadows, but it's such a great achievement by Amazon. I can't wait for season two.
yeah. It
Uh,
seems like a hidden gem of a show where not a lot of people have seen it, but everyone that I know that's seen it really likes it.
I absolutely loved it. I did not. I'm glad Robbie Amell, kind of like how we were talking about Lily Collins doing more and leading stuff. I'm glad
Hmm.
Robbie Amell is able to lead his own show, and he does such a great job because he's another great actor. So I want to keep seeing him do that. Um, and then my top three shows for this year and for a long time actually were Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal, which came out last year, and then they finished the rest of the episodes this year. So it's 10 episodes total. And basically, just remind everybody if I don't think I've talked about it too much, or if I have, it's just been nonsense. But it's basically about a caveman and a mother T Rex bonded together through loss of their families. She lost her babies, and he lost his whole family to another group of predators, and it's just purely on them surviving the wild. And there's no dialogue in it. There's absolutely no
Hmm.
dialogue. So it's truly just on the movements of the characters and their noises. Like, you'll hear her make her certain moans or growls, and he'll make certain like grunts just to kind of indicate, like, I agree with you. Okay, let's go. That one was on Adult Swim, so like Cartoon Network. You can download the app if you have like a streaming service or if you have like a provider like Spectrum, it's free, so you can watch it on there. But I have it on YouTube TV. I recorded it there.
Yeah, I started watching it on HBO Max.
It is on HBO Max. Thank you. I forgot about that. And actually, a couple other shows I want to shout out before I finish my top two are going to be Titans and Doom Patrol. They had some other seasons this year which were
Hmm.
fantastic. Definitely DC is stepping up their game with these shows. And now that it's all under HBO Max, I think they could definitely keep upping the budget and making it look great. But the last two shows, which are definitely the best in the year, I'm gonna say one's my favorite for sure, but The Boys season two, and just The Boys in general, that was Amazon's best show, just because it tackles like politics, superheroes in the modern day, and just all the political stuff behind it. It's so great, like such a
Hmm.
dark comedy drama action show. Yeah, if you have Amazon, this is definitely worth the watch. Even if you don't like superheroes, it's so good. You definitely need to see it.
Yeah, it's the show for Amazon.
Yeah, like if I didn't have Amazon, that would be the show I would get it for sure. And then my absolute favorite of the year, which I hope it's yours as well. It may not be, but it's gonna be The Mandalorian. Season two hit hit the ground running and hit me hard. It was such an achievement, such an improvement upon the first season that it's able to spawn three or four shows by itself, which
Hmm.
not a lot of shows can say, even under the same umbrella of like Disney or something like that. That's impressive writing. And most of those shows will be helmed by either Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, or a couple of the other directors within their, the Mandalorian directing. So, and again, it rejuvenated my passion for Boba Fett. I didn't think I would like him. I kind of looked at him as trash compared to Din Djarin, the Mandalorian himself, but shit. Now he may be. I'm excited for his show, even if it's a miniseries. I'm excited as all hell.
Yeah, I thought he was an overrated bantha fodder, as one Star Wars fan would say. But yeah, the show definitely redeemed him. The Mandalorian is not my favorite show this year. It's my second favorite. It's flipped for me and you. I think The Boys is my favorite show this year,
Oh,
and The
interesting.
Mandalorian is second favorite. But it's the margin is very small because I loved both of these shows so much.
Same. It was a tough race between the two. But Mandalorian for me was just so great, just because just bringing live action cartoon characters into live action that translated well, and again just the fact that we're getting so many new shows. Yeah, it's going to be wild in the next few years. So,
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to their spinoffs.
but real quick, what shows did you enjoy this year, my brother?
Well, I mean, I gave my favorite top two away, and I also really love What We Do in the Shadows, so that's definitely in my top five as well. And to round out my top five, is a show that's been around for a little while now, but Better Call Saul. Again, I think
Mm,
it's a really, 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 really well written show. If anyone again had any reservations, thinking that it was just maybe like a cheap cash grab or something that is Breaking Bad light? Definitely not. It's right up there on the same level with Breaking Bad in terms of just how well done it is. I can't sing its praises enough. I'm definitely looking forward to its next season, which I believe is going to be the last season of the show. And I don't really want it to end. It's so good. Just oh man, just that again, fantastic. Vince Gilligan is a fantastic writer, and I think he can do anything he wants after this. I'll watch it.
I mean, again, that's a show my dad's been consistently talking about. And I know you brought it up and other people brought it up. That's another one I definitely need to get on that, as they would say, just
Yeah, on
because
Netflix. So if anyone wants to watch it, it's on there.
for sure. And what's your last one to round out the five?
The round out to five is a movie. I mean, movie. It is kind of like a movie. Show that ended maybe a couple years ago. I don't remember if it ended in 2018 or 2017, but it's new to me, and this is the first time I watched the show. But The Leftovers on HBO,
Hmm.
such a good show, man. I can't believe I had waited so long. I'd heard a lot of really good things about the show. And again, another kind of like hidden gem show where not a lot of people saw it, but the people that did watch it say it's like one of their favorite shows, and it's definitely one of my favorite shows. It's such a good show,
Which one
and
was that one?
The Leftovers. So show is about what happens when 2% of the Earth's population just vanish, and it's about people that are basically the leftovers.
Hmm.
With Justin Theroux's in it, Margaret Qualley, Carrie Coon's in it. A lot of really good actors do such a fantastic job. I'm saying fantastic a lot, but it's because all these shows are great.
Spare no expense. We're gonna use these words very frequently. We should broaden our vocabulary a little bit, but especially me. But okay, well, I heard about the leftovers. I just didn't know what it was about. When my parents were recently watching the one with Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman. I forgot what that one was called, but that is supposed to be like, I guess I saw the last episode in which basically it's about a husband and their and a wife. Their life has been turned upside down just because the guy's framed in a murder of a woman, his mistress, and it just I guess the series just kind of dissects was he guilty or not, and the finale gets through a lot of people off. Which I was watching, I thought I already know who it is. It's pretty obvious who it is, but whatever. I guess I gotta really watch the whole show to get the whole surprise. But um, yeah, okay, for sure. HBO is always like even if the stuff that you don't really hear about, most of their shows are pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like if it's
Yeah,
not Game of Thrones or Westworld or like Curb Your Enthusiasm, there are other shows out in that library that are really well done and will always tickle somebody's fancy.
Yeah, I mean, whatever show comes out, if someone hasn't heard of it, it's probably someone else's favorite show that year, just because their
Absolutely.
HBO's that good.
It really is. Oh man, well that was a very solid list, and I like to think my list was solid as well,
Yeah, it's a very good list.
not trying to
Yeah,
brag about it, just
well, the three of the shows on there are the same as mine.
but now next year we have so much to look forward to. Some of the biggest movies I'm really looking forward to are like Black Widow finally coming out, just because the last couple trailers really got me excited to see her, Taskmaster, Florence Pugh, David Harbour. David Harbour, I forgot his name on a couple episodes ago, but now I remembered it. Um, so it's good seeing all of them together. Let me see. Basically, the rest of Marvel movies that are supposed to come out next year that were supposed to come out this year, like Spider-Man, The Eternals are coming out, but not so much those. Mortal Kombat, I'm actually really interested in seeing. That's getting released in
Yeah,
4 months
yeah.
in April.
Hopefully that's good.
Godzilla vs. Kong, I hope is really good. Dune, I really hope is good. After the trailer this year, during around the time of DC fandom, I hope that rocks my world and just improves upon the original movie because the original movie is just.
It shouldn't be hard.
I mean, I don't know. You never know. That
The
whole universe
spice,
sounds.
right? The spice.
That whole universe just sounds so complicated. um, And then not necessarily a movie, but Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm finally looking forward to coming out. WandaVision,
Oh yeah.
Mandalorian season 3, Book of Boba Fett in December. So that's kind of near the end of the year. I'll have to wait on those for sure. I'm trying to think, but besides that, movies wise, it's gonna be a very interesting year just to see how everything kind of rolls out. Hopefully, HBO Max again, they're releasing most of the movies through streaming. So at least for the next few months until movie theaters can open back up and people start getting vaccinated, that'll be nice to have at home. Um, but yeah, those are just some of my favorite movies. And then Snake Eyes, which is Henry Golding's new movie for the GI Joe universe to reboot.
Oh
Essentially,
yeah.
that comes out next
Hopefully
year,
that
which
one's good.
I hope it's good. I like Henry Golding. I don't want him to be in a really bad movie. It's gonna happen to every actor at least once or twice in their life. So, but for
Hmm.
him, I like him. He was in The Gentleman. I want him to succeed, and he was in Crazy Rich Asians, which was like the first movie I ever saw him in, and I love that movie too.
Yeah, that
But
was the first movie I saw him into. That one was really good.
but anything else you're like super looking forward to? Anything that like you absolutely can't wait for next year?
Three words. The Snyder Cut.
Oh my God, I forgot about the Snyder Cut. Thank you for reminding me. Damn it, I forgot about that one.
I was waiting for you to say it, but you didn't say it. I was surprised. I was like, no. Yeah, supposedly it's coming out in March, and I'm really, really
Absolutely.
excited.
I mean, it sucks that it's like everybody's reporting that, yeah, there's nothing else coming from it. Like, it's just the Snyder Cut. And I'm like, I guess I should have seen that coming just because,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But again, I'm just glad to finally see Zack Snyder's vision come to be, whether it's better or worse. It's good to him kind of get that, what's that word I'm looking for? That, the
It's
closure on it.
yeah, it'll be good for him to have that closure for sure.
So, oh man. Just the Snyder cut. That was a good choice.
Yeah, I would say the Batman, but that got pushed to 2022. So, ah,
Which
man, it's gonna be
sucks.
such. Yeah, man. Oh no, I
I was
really was looking
so
forward
looking
to
forward
that.
to it. Yeah, like come on. After that trailer, that was only a fourth of the movie done. Like that's an amazing quarter. I want the rest of the 75 cents.
I was like, a fourth of the movie? You got this from a fourth of the movie?
Oh man, again, just that beat down in that trailer, just the guy, that gang member who's like, "Who the hell are you supposed to be?" and just brutally just bitch punched him, just beat him to shit, and then still beat him while he's down. Just, I'm vengeance. Like, yeah, fuck you. I'm Batman, bitch.
He's like, yo soy tu papá.
Although seeing Robert Pattinson in Tenet for like the half of the movie I've seen, I really like him in that, and I
Oh
thought
yeah,
if they didn't go with who's the actress from Marvel, from Captain Marvel that's in this one? What's her name?
in what? In the Batman or in
She's gonna
Tenet?
be in the new James Bond movie. What's her name?
Oh,
Lashana Lynch?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah.
Okay, either way. I mean, she's gonna be the new like James Bond, the new 007 moniker, which I'm really excited for because she from the trailer she looks like a total badass in. So it'll be good to see, a black woman take that mantle of 007, the lady spy instead of the gentleman spy. But if they wanted to keep the whole white dude being James Bond, Robert Pattinson easily would have been the next best choice
Oh,
after Tenet.
nice. Yeah, he did a really good job in Tenet, and it just made me even more excited for his role in the Batman.
Yeah, or if not him, my other choices for 007 would be Michael
Henry
B.
Cavill.
Jordan. Henry Cavill wouldn't be bad, but I was thinking Michael B.
Michael
Jordan.
B. Jordan can't do it. He's not British.
I don't give a shit.
He's got to
We
be
have
British or
we
like
have
European.
if we have Brits and Aussies playing Americans and American sounding characters here, I think we can do an American playing a British person. Let's say that right now.
It's just we don't do it well, We don't see a lot of American actors do good
Or it could
British
be an
accents.
American. It could be an American plucked from America to fight the good fight in England. Our ancestral country
I was
essentially.
really hoping Idris Elba would have gotten that role. He would have
But
been
he
great.
does everything. So as much as I want Idris Elba
That
to
is the
do it,
thing too. Yeah,
he
he is
does
in everything.
everything. Like it's like Idris, I love you, but you gotta step back and let other people do it. I mean, not that I don't want him to do it. It's just, damn it, it's a great conundrum.
He's so good. He's in everything. He's like, man, stop being in everything. You're so good.
But John David Washington again in that movie. So far from what I've seen, he is awesome. He is everything I want him to be. I mean, he was great in that one show with The Rock on HBO. I was kind of watching. I forgot what that one's called, but
Ballers.
Ballers. Thank you. He was great in that one, and he was awesome in Black Klansman. But it's kind
Yeah.
of seeing him in like a very tactical like fantasy sci-fi movie. Like I was like, okay, I want to keep seeing more of that, dude. Like keep doing that. But that'll do it for me, man. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out next year. Oh, and then Resident Evil, Sony's Resident Evil with that a great cast of like Robbie Amell, Kaya
Scodelaria, something like
Scodelario, something like
that.
that. Basically, like a really solid live action cast. They just finished filming. They wrapped filming, not finished wrapping. They wrapped on filming.
They finished wrapping their Christmas gifts. It's late.
um they finished, which I was like, damn, I didn't even realize you guys were filming. I thought you guys just got casted a few
Yeah.
months ago.
I thought it
But
was just like greenlit and like they just announced the cast, but I didn't know they started filming. That's
it's
pretty
a
cool.
it's a 45-minute film. Straight to DVD.
Only DVD also.
No Blu-ray, no 4K, just
No, just
DVD. It's old school.
DVD.
Oh man, but
I see there's some laser discs out there too.
I will say that one, Snake Eyes and Mortal Kombat are the ones I'm really hoping do well, just because they're going with legitimate casts for it. Like they have a great cast for the Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat. They're going with predominantly Asian American actors, of all Asian descents. And then again, Henry Golding as Snake Eyes it's such a cool idea. They can go almost any direction they want with his suit to make it like look like the comics, or maybe adapt it heavily so it works with modern day, but also like the comic book or whatever. So it's just the possibilities I'm really hoping are going to be great with these ones. But if not, I'm sure there'll be good action films to watch or something. So it is what it is.
Yeah. At the very least, they probably will be fun.
Absolutely. But oh, that'll do it for me, my brother. Let's end 2020 on the most positive we can. So everybody, if you guys are healthy, you guys are okay, we're happy. We want you guys to be, healthy and everything. Hopefully everybody's, as chipper as can be, you're not overworked. And yeah, let's just finish this year and let's go into 2021 with some fun, some positivity, keep everybody safe until y'all get that scene, as I'm calling it.
Yeah, we'll get the scene and then really, really get the Roaring 20 started. You know what I'm saying?
Man. But yeah, let's just go into 20. Let's start this decade off on a better foot than this year, because this year's sucked.
Not a good start, but I guess if we started such a low point, it's only up from here, hopefully. Oh my God, I hope
Oh,
there's no lower we
don't
can
jinx
get.
it, Bert.
Where's some wood? I did a knock on it.
We'll have to see what happens, but oh man, that'll do it for me, my dude. What about you?
Yeah, man. It's a good way to wrap up the year, my friend. It's been fun doing this.
Oh, one more show I forgot to talk about. I know this is super late because we're basically finishing this, but
No, it's too late. Can't.
Ted Lasso on Apple
Oh
TV
yes,
and
such a good
Mythic
show.
Quest. Both those two shows on Apple are my favorites. One of my favorites of the year. Ted Lasso specifically, just because Jason Sudeikis is literally what I try and think of every year, every day this year. Just straight up positivity and just pushing through life. So
Hmm.
yeah, if you
Just
if
a
you got
really good optimistic show. I really enjoyed that one.
absolutely that even the worst of enemies can become your best of friends and stuff like that. Like it's just that is easily one of the best shows on television this year. So we'll gotta think like Ted Lasso. Have the memory of a goldfish, which because memory, I guess goldfish have like maybe 1 second memories or they have the shortest memory spans. So it's
Yeah,
like just have a memory of a goldfish. Keep moving forward.
yeah. Don't dwell on the past failings. Just look forward. Really good
Exactly.
message with that show.
Absolutely. May the force be with you. This is the way. All that good stuff. All those quotes. I can't think of any more.
Ta ta, Turtle Man.
Steve, that has nothing to do with this. Oh man. Until I'll see you in the future, my dude, in
Yeah,
2021.
and I'll see you next year. Oh my gosh.
We can finally say that. But now I am off to work, so wish me luck. Peace out, though, my brother.
Adios, my man.